All right, we're going to start with the next section. So we're going to work with slide and divide. That's what I call it. I didn't make this up, so it's not just what I call it. Other people call it. It does have different names. What we're going to deal with is factoring, where we have a number in front of the x squared, which makes it harder. The way I was taught way back in the day was just guess and check. Guess and check works for some people, but for most people it takes a really, really long time to do a problem. And so this way is probably my favorite way to do it. But there are a lot of different methods out there, and you can just search this right here. It's hard to put this in, but just basically searching this would be fine. We can definitely do that. So what I'm going to say is the steps on this. Let's go ahead and write down the steps. The first step, and we're not going to have to do this today, but we will eventually. First step is always take out the trash. Okay, factor out the GCF, take out the trash. If you don't take out the trash first, once you start your slide and divide, it gets really weird and it gets confusing. You technically can do it afterwards, but it makes it way harder. So, like I say, when you clean the house, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have an empty trash can, right? Because if you start picking up trash and there's no place to put it, where do you put it? Just in the other corner, right? So take out the trash first. Today, the trash will be taken out for you. You'll start with a clean problem. The second thing is going to be slide. Well, that's not really a math term. So slide is going to be multiply. A times C. And that's what I'm talking about, A times C. Third thing, X gain. Fourth thing is going to be divide. And divide is actually a math term, so we can do that. So I'm going to kind of show you how this works. This is almost more complex than the actual thing. So let's just start with a problem, and then we will move on with our lives a little bit. I need one that works. And I put away my paper. It has problems that work. All right. So we're going to have stuff like this. 5 x squared minus 43x plus 18. Okay, like I said, there's not going to be any GCF in this to take out first. So this is what we do. The first thing is we slide. So I'm going to take this guy and multiply it over here. That's going to give me x squared minus 43x plus, and some of your numbers will get big, unfortunately. So it is harder than the last level, but this will make it easier. Is that right? 5 times 1890? Check me. Now we're going to do the x game. And these are bigger numbers, and so it is a little bit harder to deal with. Now, when I look at this and I say negative 43, that is a huge number. And so probably I'm going to have a little number and then a big number. And again, if you don't know your times tables really well, it's okay because you can just do 90. Let's see what works first. 90, and I always start with easy, 90 divided by 2. Let's see if that works. Well, I have a negative number and a positive number, or two negatives. What is it going to be? Let me make sure I wrote this right. Aha. This is not going to be possible. Here we go. That's a negative. I was like, that's not possible with what I'm teaching you anyways. So let's look at this here. So 2 times 45 is, if this is negative 45 and this is positive 2, does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, so not that hard. Okay, so let's write that down here. So I get x minus 45. And then we get x plus 2. Okay? All right, so we did the x game. Now we have to do the divide. This is the divide part. So we have to divide whatever we slid. So we slid a 5, so now we're going to divide by 5. Okay, and so this would be x minus 9. And this is a fraction. I don't want a fraction. Fractions are not what I'm trying to do. Fractions would make my problem harder, right? And so there's a little trick that we can do here is, if this is a fraction, I'm just going to move this guy right here. And write it like this. Okay? And just to explain it a little bit, we have to have this first part, don't we? Because to get the answer that we started with, the only way to get 5x squared when we FOIL it, right, would be to have x times 5x. Is that true? Is that the only way to do that? Is there another way to do that? Okay, that should be the only way we do that is 5. Okay, and so this is a little bit complex. But I think you'll be fine, and that's why it's going to be shorter a little bit. All right. Okay, let's do another problem here and see if you can get it done. Let's do 2x squared plus 12x plus 10. See if you can get that done. Okay, first thing to do is slide. Bam. I like these numbers better. X game. 20, 12. I think I got it. Does anybody else have it?
Yeah.
What?
10 and 2.
Sweet.
And so x plus 10 and x plus 2.
Yeah, you got it. Then we're going to divide both by 2, right?
Yeah, so x plus 5.
So x plus 5.
Yeah, x plus 5.
You know what? It didn't work. Why didn't it work? I said that this works, didn't I? But it didn't work because there's no way x times x would be x squared. Okay? This is an example of what happens when you don't take out the trash. Okay? Do I have a greatest common factor here? What can I divide everything by? 2, right? Okay, so when you get here, and today's work will not do this, but I just want to show you why it's important to take out the trash first. This is not the right answer. This is the right answer, and we'll get there later. But just be aware that this method, the problem with this method, is if you don't take out the trash first, you get a weird answer, and you're going to swear it's right because that's what Mr. Crowder told you to do. But if you don't take out the trash first, it will be broken. But that's what happened here. So just always check to make sure this makes sense. X times x would be x squared. I want it to equal 2x squared, right? Okay, so that's the point I make there. We're going to have one last problem, and then I'll let you loose. And I'm probably going to do the one last problem is going to be number 13 on your worksheet. That way we are actually starting something good. Okay, and we'll see if this works. And again, I'm not going to, on this worksheet, I'm not going to make you take out greatest common factors, but you will have to do that. I'm looking, no greatest common factor, great, no trash to take out. So let's do this, slide and divide. And I will say this is stuff that little kids and parents are impressed if you can do this, because a lot of them will look at this and go, I don't know how to do this. They used to teach this differently, where it seriously was guess and check, which might take some people like 20 minutes to do this problem, which no one wants to spend 20 minutes on a problem. And you probably could look that up, factoring with guess and check on the YouTube. I might actually look it up for you. So what is this going to be? It's going to be like what? 120? Okay, it is annoying that the numbers are higher, but that's just life. I don't know why I made that 35. I made it 35 because I was talking. That's still 7, and you only slide here, right? Unfortunately, sometimes when I talk, I write things down that I'm not supposed to. So this would be 120. And this would be 7. Okay, I'm guessing that I have some number that's positive and some number that's negative, and their difference is 7. So it's not that far off. So I'm just going to have to start with 120 and see what we got here. Okay, I don't think it's going to be 2, so I'm going to skip a few. Maybe 10. Let's see if 10 works. Because you don't have to start at 2 and just keep going. Let's see if 10 works. Okay. I don't think 10 is going to work. You know, a positive 12, nope, that's too close. So it's going to be smaller than 10. Let's see what else we can divide by. Maybe 8. Let's try 8. It is 8? Okay. So in this case, my calculator's probably wrong which one's negative. The bigger one's positive, and the smaller one, and that works. Okay. And so I'm kind of guessing, but just try to guess something that is reasonable. You can go through every number. You can go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That takes a while. So a lot of times I'll skip a few numbers to see if that will cut it down. The more you practice, the easier it is. Let's see if this will work for us. P plus 15. P minus 8. I got to divide. Divide by 5, divide by 5. All right, P plus 3. And fraction, I don't like it. So I just move this right up here and do 5P minus 8. And let's see if that's going to work. P times 5P, is that going to be 5P squared? Okay, so good. That means we didn't have any trash stuck in there that messed us up. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to finish this here.